become a very light sleeper.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like he would turn, take a वो करवट भी लेगा तो I will wake up.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Parenthood. I'm your host, Neha Garg, and every week we meet parents from all walks of life. Parents who are brave enough to share their stories with honesty, humor, and heart. This isn't a podcast about perfect parenting. It's about real people navigating the beautiful, messy world of raising children while also holding on to themselves. In today's episode, we'll be speaking with Diksha Sethi, an entrepreneur, a mother, and someone who speaks with refreshing clarity about the often invisible load that mothers carry. Her journey into parenting hasn't been a linear one. From navigating the overwhelming early years of motherhood in a big city without a support system, to becoming fiercely aware of the motherhood penalty and advocating for equity for mothers at home and at work, Diksha brings both vulnerability and insight to this conversation. So, whether you are a parent yourself, thinking of becoming one, or simply curious about what it really takes to show up for your child while showing up for yourself, this one's for you. Diksha, welcome to Parenthood, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Neha, for being so kind with your introduction.
You deserve it and
Yeah.
more.
I think all mothers do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's begin somewhere light. If you had to pick just three words to describe who you are, what would those three words be?
Oh, wow. I always get stuck at this question. I don't know how to describe myself. I think this is my imposter syndrome speaking. But I think I would say curious.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. I believe I'm a learner for life. That's
Mm-hmm.
what has defined me, so far. I'm always curious to learn something new. Um, uh, wow. Thinker?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Maybe
we
an overthinker? Yeah.
yeah, we are just seeing the glimpses of that side of your personality right
Yeah. Overthinker for sure.
there.
Um, Intuitive.
Hmm. Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice. Now tell us a little bit about your family. Ihan's name, I think I just love the name. It's so beautiful. What does it mean to start with? And then tell us how he is as a person, what makes him uniquely him.
Wow. So I still remember the story behind this name, okay, because we had already started shortlisting names, one for a boy, one for a girl. And I was not liking any boy names whatsoever. I wanted something with an Arabic origin.
Mm-hmm.
I'd already shortlisted a name for a girl, but boys के लिए मुझे कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रहा था. It was such a struggle, and I didn't want to keep anything complicated, long, tongue twisting, none of that. Something very simple,
Yeah.
short and sweet, and something unique. And you know how the culture is in North Indian families, they usually take out an alphabet and then you have to choose a name with that. I was like, I don't want to go through any of that because by the time that time comes, it's already 40, 45 days and the family has already started to call the child with some pet name और
Yeah.
वो नाम पक जाता है.
Yeah.
I didn't want that to happen. ये मुन्ना छोटू, none of that. So like पहले ही decide करना है मुझे, and I just want to just stick to that, and that's it. So yeah, it was actually we crowdsourced the name. So my office, Vishal's office, my husband. So we invited, suggestions from everywhere. So long story short, we looked through a lot of names for boys, and then this name came up. And I was like, this is perfect. This is small. This is not difficult to pronounce. Ihan. It was very unique that time, and it means full moon.
Oh, how
So
beautiful is that?
yeah, so it was just perfect that day. I was like, okay, he's the light of going to be the light of our lives, and Ihan it is. So then we just finalized the name.
Uh-huh. And how is he like a person now? How old is he now?
10.
10.
10.
Wow.
He's a big boy. Yeah. Very sensitive child. Very, very thoughtful, extremely loving. Um, and yeah, I'm like a typical boy sometimes as well. He's super smart and super chatty, and he knows a lot of things already, and very curious, and has a lot of questions to ask. And he'll be like challenging you on every step, and he'll make you think, and he'll make me go crazy sometimes. So yeah, I mean, it's quite a ride
Yeah.
having him around.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And
Yeah,
you spoke about your co-parenting journey with your partner. It
yeah,
sounds like it's been a very shared experience. What was
yeah.
that early season like stepping into parenthood together?
Hmm. So, initially, I think it was a lot of struggle, I would say. It wasn't easy stepping into parenthood for both of us,
Mm,
because we knew what we were getting into. And honestly, we were not prepared mentally for what was coming ahead of us, because we knew our safety net is really thin, support system is really weak. We stay away from the family, and we were not in a position to leave our jobs, uproot ourselves, go back home. None of that was possible at the time. So yeah, it was jittery, honestly. And he obviously understood that my career is important, and there is at no point there was a conversation in our house to say that tu job chhod de,
mm,
or make a choice between this or that.
mm.
There was never that conversation in the house, so that was a good thing, a very positive thing. And I think unless it's a mother's choice to take a step back from
Yeah,
her work and focus completely on her child, it should never be forced.
yeah,
Um, and I knew that even if I wanted to leave work, I couldn't at the time.
yeah.
So that I think that decision was very mutual
Mm,
when we arrived at it. That okay, we've got to do this together in whatever way we can. So we started looking around for help, um, and it was back in 2015, and maternity was only 3 months back
wow,
then.
wow.
No concept of working from home and remote work and hybrid, and none of that existed.
Yeah.
Either you're there or you're not there.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was nerve-wracking, honestly. And of course, initially, because as a baby, the mothers required more around the baby. So
Yeah.
I did give majority of my time to my son, and carrying a lot of guilt every day. When I
Mm,
went back to work, I still remember that day when I had to leave him behind with a nanny. Um, it was, I mean, I could not focus at work at all that day. It was just so hard,
mm.
and the guilt would just eat me inside. And I was like, I want to go back. I just I don't want to do this. But um I made a choice, and I was like, okay, I got to calm down. I have to get through this, and the only way through it is to go through it. There
Yeah.
is no shortcut, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And something that you've said is stayed with me that you didn't have much of a social life for the
yeah,
first 5 years of motherhood.
yeah,
That level of isolation, I mean,
yeah,
it's very hard to even imagine.
yeah.
It's something many parents feel, I think, but not many do talk about it.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that time?
Um, it was lonely. It was very lonely. In fact, um, I could see the change happening even during pregnancy, even though I was working till the last day of, before, just a day before my delivery.
Mm,
Um, I chose to work until the very last day, because everything was normal, my health was okay, so I was quite active that way. But I could see how, obviously there are lots of restrictions. Your body doesn't allow, there are mood swings, there are hormonal changes, and you don't feel like, and you have to be cautious all the time. And for me, I mean, it just sort of came to a grinding halt, when my son was born. Not that I was very, very social, but at
mm,
least I had a choice to,
yeah,
step out, meet people, or they could come over or whatever. Um, but yeah, that just completely stopped. And It was lonely. It was very lonely. And, suddenly you realize that, your friend circle, they're not, half of them are not even married.
Yeah.
And you've become a mother. You're at a very different stage of life. They
Yeah.
are at a very different stage of life. You can't expect them to understand what you're going through. It's not going to happen. And I can say this now, but at that time, I felt really bad. I was like, no, this is not done. But I understand now, you evolve, you mature with time, and you get it that, okay, then they're not going to get it. It's fine, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was back home for 2.5 months with my mother, my parents. Um, so that was great help. But then when I came back to Delhi, I had to join back work. It was very intimidating. It was difficult. It was just work and home and work and home and that's it. Um, with no break, no breather, no proper sleep, none of that. So, but I do thank my stars. We found a good nanny. We found somebody who we could trust. Thankfully, we, were not very jaded parents. We knew technology, we understood technology, so we could get that security system at home. And thank God for all of this to be present in our times, that we can make use of it. And there were cameras installed and CCTVs everywhere, and we would like just be there like a hawkeye, keeping a hawkeye all the time, what's happening every moment, everything, we would get notified. um you know so yeah.
Yeah. Sounds very tough. I'm just so glad that you came out of that. How did it go from being a lonely journey to, discovering your social side again and rediscovering? Did you rediscover that?
But it, of course, it is limiting, right? But then when the choices are taken away from you, it becomes a different story, right? Then it becomes
Yeah.
really restricting, and then it becomes a little suffocating also. Then you want to just break free, and there are days when you're feeling like, oh yeah, mujhse nahi ho raha, I just want to drop everything and just run away somewhere, right? That, I'm sure a lot of mothers feel that frustration.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was challenging, but thankfully I had work, which I used as as a respite, as an escape mechanism, where I would meet people, I would speak to somebody else, I'd get to have other human touch points in my my life. So yeah, that I think helped me, keep my sanity somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said Ihan was born via C-section. Would you be
Mhm.
comfortable telling us a little bit about that experience? What do you remember most vividly from that time?
I remember everything actually, as if it just happened yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, everything was normal in my case. There really were no complications, honestly. But the only thing was that his head had not settled, and he was still moving like, very vigorously moving. And he was also, cracking a joke saying that, ye tera bacha footballer banne wala hai. I was like, yeah. So, and because he was moving, the umbilical cord got stuck very tightly around his neck. And then, so she was like, okay, let's not take a chance. Let's just go for a C-sec, because lag nahi raha hai ki settle hoga. There seems to be a lot of gap, and he has plenty of room to play around, and he seems to be very mischievous. So let's just go with C-sec. I was like, fine, okay. So that's how it happened. Everything was fine. There were really no complications, thankfully. But yes, my recovery was like I think any mother would experience it. It was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was painful, and very overwhelming, I would say. Very, very overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you had to close your eyes and think of one moment, just one, that feels like it holds the whole parenting journey for you till now, what comes to mind?
Um, it's difficult to just describe this in one moment, but
Mhm.
um, I remember once I think I was in the kitchen and I was making something, and just randomly Ihan just walks up to me and says, he just hugs me from behind and he says, I know being a mom is so difficult, Mama, but I'm so proud of you. And I was like, where is this coming from? And I just started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, okay, this makes it all worth it. I'm doing something right.
Yeah, yeah, you are. You are.
Yeah.
And what does life look like these days as a parent, as a professional, and as just you?
Oh wow. Life is actually I'm no complaints. Honestly, no complaints. Um he's a like I said, he's a sensible child, very sensitive, very curious. And I'm glad that, there's a lot of room for open discussion in our house. He's an avid reader. He reads a lot, so he asks a lot of questions. So, and we've also introduced him to certain books which are age appropriate books like preteens and sexual education and all sorts of things. So he's read them up and he will ask questions, and there are very open uh, conversations in our house about where do babies come from, what
Mm,
about genitals, about good touch, bad touch, all sorts of things. And I think it's very, very important to guide children at the right time,
yeah,
because there is so much information out there. There is so much out there which can just go wrong.
yeah,
And before it's too late, it's just so important to channel that energy in the right way.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
tell us a little about your work. What does your day-to-day life look like now? Or how do you space for both work and parenting?
वो तो पता नहीं. I really have no idea वो कैसे हुआ, कैसे किया. But like I said, all thanks to the kind of times we live in, there is ample support that you can hire.
Yeah,
You can line up for yourself. And that I think is a huge blessing which we just sort of really underestimate at times. So,
yeah,
the school, the daycare, the creches that are available around us, all thanks to all that kind of infrastructure and the facilities that we have. We can safely leave our children there and go back to work for 4 hours, 5 hours, and come back to them when they need us. So
yeah,
I don't know how our mothers did it.
yeah.
They didn't have any of this back then. So yeah, we're really blessed.
Yeah, yeah. And I often find that becoming a parent kind of rearranges us, not
Oh
just our
yeah.
routines, but something more internal. Have you
Yeah.
felt that too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think I've become a very light sleeper.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like he would turn, take a वो करवट भी लेगा तो I will wake up. It's
yeah,
that instinctive as a
yeah,
mother.
yeah,
I may sound like a total helicopter mom, but that's how it is. It's so intertwined. It's so wired.
yeah.
It so happens. It's funny, okay? हमारे घर में ये joke है, internal joke भी है, that sometimes Ihan will just walk up to me and tell me, Mama, tell me what I'm thinking, and I will just say it out loud.
Wow.
Like he'll be like, how did you know? How did you guess that? I was like, I just know you. So that happens a lot, a lot. It's that intertwined.
Yeah. Hmm. What I'm very interested to know, you said even though you didn't have a traditional support system while you were bringing him up, you've said
Yeah,
that both you and your partner were deeply involved, making decisions together, staying
yeah,
hands-on. That's kind of rare even in
yeah,
today's time. And
yeah.
how did you build that kind of partnership when it comes to raising your child?
I think I'm just lucky that way. And I think Ihan is very lucky that he had such a devoted dad. And Vishal is really, really involved. in every little thing that when it comes to Ihan, you know,
Mm.
smallest of the things, from his school projects to his uniform to his annual day to what he is going to take, in his tiffin today, to dropping him to the bus stop, to, what kind of friends he makes, and, who is he talking to, not talking to, everything. Um, and it's really heartwarming to see them fight. Sometimes they fight like crazy. They argue as if, it's not the 10-year-old Ihan talking. It's suddenly he's just like 20, 25. Uh,
That
but
day is not far.
yeah, I know. I'm sure it's not far, but it's heartwarming. I get really worked up when I see them arguing like that. They fight over food. Like siblings, they're like bickering over it. तूने मेरा ले लिया, तूने मेरा ले लिया. It's like that. But I think that's where the bonding is, right? And that's what I think is needed in a child's life, where one parent can be the friend
Yeah,
and the other parent is holding boundaries. Of course, we keep switching roles.
yeah,
Uh, with at times we have to, good cop, bad cop, that keeps happening.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, that's the balancing act that really works well.
yeah. And do
Yeah.
you feel like you've started to kind of find your village now, or at least a few people who hold you through this journey, in this journey of parenting?
Um, Not, I don't know how to answer that honestly. I think I would say the kind of people I've met um, at work or through my podcasting, um, the kind of people I've connected with, be it psychologists, nutritionists, teachers, I've learned a lot from them and
Mm.
their stories. The shared experiences, the
Yeah,
shared journeys, that I think has really helped, in making some choices for my child, and of course, our own journey, right, with our own parents.
yeah,
That also brings in a lot of learning and tells you what not to do, what to do, and
yeah.
what to carry forward, what to just, where to break the cycle. So a lot of that as well.
Yeah, yeah. And amidst everything else, Diksha, how do you find moments that are just for you? Or is that still something that you're figuring out?
No, I've managed to find that. So, and that's the reason why I'm a night owl, because that's the time when I get, time for myself in the night. So that's my time, my space. And I'm like, I'll just watch some trash on TV, or, I'll just, you know, do some unfinished business. I'll complete that or something or the other. Um, so yeah, that's the time when I'm most productive, most active, and I'm, finishing up my work. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. And was there a moment, maybe one of those hard days, when you felt completely overwhelmed and, that maybe, just put your hands up, overwhelmed, that I can't do this? What did that look like and how did you move through it?
बहुत है, बहुत है. I'm honestly, I keep counting my blessings every day, and I don't know what I would do with the kind of, you know, um, support system that I have in place.
Yeah.
Um, the cook who comes to, feed you on time, and the person who comes to clean your house and keep things in order, and ek din wo na aaye, you know what
Yeah.
happens, right? So I really I'm very, very grateful for all the help that they do for us. And of course, it gets very overwhelming. Of course, there are days when you're like, you just throw your hands up in the air and you're like, bus, nahi ho raha.
Mhm.
And there used to be a time when I would beat myself up to say, yeah, why can't I figure this out? Why can't I do this? I don't anymore. I try not to beat myself up anymore, and I'll be like, it's one of those days. It's okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Nahi ho, Raj, I don't want to push myself anymore. It's fine.
Yeah.
So it's a constant reminder that you got to be kind to yourself. You got to be gentle with yourself. Some days it's fine. Yeah.
In your ideal world, what would a more fair and just parenting world feel like when it comes to, at least when it comes to corporate setups?
The day we start taking this for granted that it's only a mother's job to raise this battle.
Hmm.
I mean, for example, if there's a man in the boardroom and his son or daughter is sick and he gets a call, he may not, I'm sorry, I may be generalizing it, but if the child is sick,
Yeah.
the mother by default would be, staying back at home either out of guilt or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not expected out of the dad to immediately drop everything and go.
Yeah.
It's not the right example, maybe. But
No,
I'm just
but you're
talking about
right.
how
It's not the norm. It
it's
may be,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's not expected. It's not the
yeah,
default setting. I'm talking
yes,
about the default setting, right? I'm sure there are tons of dads out there who are extremely doting and caring, and they would drop everything to rush back home. But I'm saying it's not expected. And
yes,
even if they have to drop everything and go, the team would step up and, fill in.
yes.
But if it's a woman, I don't think that's going to happen. It may not happen.
Mm.
It may be, I don't know, frowned upon, or it just may be looked upon as, oh, iska to rozgar.
Hmm.
Those kind of remarks,
Yeah,
because I'm speaking from experience.
yeah,
Uh, I obviously it's not a comment on anybody else. I can't speak for anyone else, but it does happen,
yeah,
so it's not taken very kindly. It's expected from a woman to balance everything.
yeah,
Um, and then when we say that it's not an equitable world, then the whole narrative around feminism is just thrown back in the face, which of course has just, I think, that entire definition, that entire
Mhm.
conversation has become so skewed and so misunderstood.
Yeah.
Is probably another podcast on that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming back to you and Ihan, sometimes I feel it's the smallest things that leave the biggest mark. Is there
Mm.
a tiny moment or maybe an incident from your parenting journey that has really shifted something for you?
I think one thing I was always very clear on, I'm not sure if this answers your question, but um, I was very, very clear on one thing, that even if, I'm raising a boy,
Hmm.
being a boy mother, it's actually my responsibility actually towards the society and towards my own family is a lot more.
Right.
Um, because as mothers of boys, we really, really got to do this right.
Yeah.
Um, I was very clear on that. Um, and so from choosing the right school
Hmm.
to giving him the kind of value system where he sees both of us, switching roles, say in the kitchen, for example, right? Um, those small things make so much difference in shifting that perception, shifting that narrative that okay, खाना बनाना सिर्फ मम्मा का काम नहीं है,
Right.
लॉन्ड्री करना सिर्फ मम्मा का काम नहीं है. This
Hmm.
is everybody's job.
Right.
I remember once when COVID had hit in, I think, KG or something. So the teacher was and he was, I think, in, yeah, KG or grade one, or very little. And the teacher was trying to explain some concept, and she was like, when mama is in the kitchen and chopping vegetables, and I was listening.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is how these subtle, examples, just seed in that stereotype in the
Yeah.
minds of kids, that
Yeah.
mama is supposed to be in the kitchen and daddy's supposed to be in the study and working. So I wrote this huge lamba chauda letter to the principal without making it sound like a complaint, but as feedback that, this sensitization is very important.
Yeah.
This is how we are, perpetuating gender stereotype. We can't have that.
Yeah.
Um, and thankfully, that was very well received. And then they did this entire training for teachers, and also. So those kind of things, the small little steps. These are, I think, very important.
Yeah.
Where I feel that that shift is happening every
Yeah.
day at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm glad you brought that up. Being a boy mom myself,
yeah,
that was kind of, I feel that responsibility
mm,
every day that,
yeah,
what I will do it right. And I don't know whether we are burdening the boys. Sometimes I get caught up in that
yeah,
maybe we are burdening them, but whatever it takes, we
mm,
got to make it right. So
yeah.
does Ihan realize that there is something different that is happening here, or is it kind of normalized in his circle also? Or does he see that difference?
Um, See, honestly, we don't push him for anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think we've had that level of conversation yet where he would be able to see the difference
Yeah.
over here and at his friend's place. Not yet, maybe. Um, but we are making these conscious choices for him
Yeah.
and for ourselves as well, right? And I'm very clear on this one thing. And I've made this very clear to my partner as well that, listen, I don't want him to be raised with this sense of entitlement
Yes.
at all, that I am a boy, you
Yeah.
know, because this is the starting of everything going wrong,
Right.
you know, with this whole machoism and the toxic masculinity and all sorts of things that are happening. This is where it all begins.
Right.
And and the way especially sons and boys are raised in the Indian setting,
Yes.
um, it needs to change.
Yeah.
That's very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And Diksha, if you could go back and sit beside your pre-motherhood self,
Mhm.
what would you say to her?
Ah, hmm. That's a very loaded question. I think I don't know what to say to her. Honestly, I think um, I would just be very proud of
Wow.
her. Yeah, because every mother should be very proud of their journey. It's not easy. It is damn difficult. Whether you're a mother to one child or two children or three children, it's difficult. Full stop.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and whether you have support system and or you don't have a support system, whether you're a single mother or you're a couple, there are different challenges
Yeah.
with every parenting, with every child. There are different kinds of challenges.
Yeah.
It's not easy. You're responsible for another life.
Yes.
It's a huge responsibility.
Yes.
To get it right
Hmm.
is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would just say just be damn proud of what you're doing.
Hmm.
Continue to do that and be kind to yourself.
How lovely is that? And I have my last question for you, Diksha.
Yeah.
If there's one thought or insight that feels like your truth right now, something you'd want to leave our listeners with, what would that be?
बड़ी मुश्किल सवाल पूछ रही हो मुझसे. I don't know. Oh wow. Hmm. I think put that damn phone down, yeah.
Hmm.
Just put that phone down. Seriously.
Hmm.
When your child comes to you and they want to ask you something, they want a hug, they are just bothering you, they're bugging you, they actually want to connect with you, just put the damn phone down. कुछ नहीं छूटेगा 5 मिनट में, 10 मिनट में, ट्रस्ट मी, कुछ
Hmm.
नहीं छूटेगा. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for saying that so simply. And, I think we all need to hear that. And Diksha, this has been such a wonderful conversation. Thank you for showing up here as you are, for naming the guilt, the imbalance, the stretch, the care, and the fierce love that has shaped your journey.
Yeah.
So much of what you've shared today will sit gently in the hearts of our listeners and maybe even make some feel a little less alone. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Neha. This was so good. Having this conversation, and I hope to all the expecting mums, to all the mums who've been on this journey, I really, really hope that you have that safety net. You have somebody by your side who you can cry on, you can weep, you can, laugh with, and share these difficult times with. I really hope that because it can be very overwhelming. And be very, very proud of yourself. You've got it.
Thank you once again. And to everyone tuning in, thank you for being here with us. If something in this conversation moved you or made you think of someone you love, do share this episode with them. You can also follow, subscribe, and leave us a little review. It helps this community grow. Until next time, take gentle care. Bye bye.